Wow, go figure. It's another video for Radical Ryan. This is another contribution to our uh, libertarian, anarchist, whatever the heck, ism you want to call it, economic series. I'm enjoying them. If you're being bored, I'm sorry. Go watch Dancing with the Stars or The Views, or read up on what Blake Shelton is telling us about in his personal life. Is everybody gone? It's just us now? All right. Whenever Radical Ryan uses the word capitalist, I can't help but notice that he just spits it out almost like a sneer. Like, that's the capitalist way. If a person is down there starving and you charge them $200 for your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, lamb dog, then you're a capitalist. Using it almost as if it's a swear word or a curse. But, as math will teach us, capitalism is actually a 10-letter word, not a 4-letter word. One, I can't speak to what others can do, and you and I and a group of team of horses can run around the maypole with the despicable things that others can do. All that I can tell you is what I will personally do. Now, I consider myself a capitalist. How about that? And make no bones about it, I consider myself a capitalist. In this peanut butter starving scenario, me, a professing capitalist, that sandwich is yours, man. I ain't charging you a dime. I'm not going to let you starve right there in front of me. Heck no. No. If you and I are selling something and we're trading something, I'd like to get a fair price for it. You talked about if we're doing a lawnmower, and I don't have a use for a lawnmower anymore. Just because I don't have a particular value towards an object anymore doesn't take away from that item's potential value. And if you don't see the value in that item the same way, then you are, of course, free to look elsewhere. Because here's the thing, regardless of how much I spent on it, be it higher or lower on the lawnmower in this example, it doesn't take away from that item's value. It doesn't take away from the amount of time and effort that I had to put into acquiring that. And it doesn't add to it either. It's just worth what it's worth. If you don't want to buy my rocking chair for $100 as a master carpenter, you're free to make your own. You're free to not do any business with me until I recognize that I need to decrease my prices. That's what I like about capitalism, is it allows it allows a process's value to be measured, okay? And that's a good thing, because if for example, Ryan, you and I say, well, we live in this village, right? I'm picturing, if it's you and me, we're chilling out like Beowulf. Of course, I'm Beowulf, because let me tell you something. I'm gonna get naked before I fight Grendel. That's just how I roll. Grendel's naked, I'm gonna get naked. You're gonna have to put your clothes on because you scare people. Your muscles are too big. See, my musculature, while large, is sleek. Okay. I kid. Anyway, so we're in this village, right? And you and I, we determine that we're very good at building little houses. There are 20 villagers in the house, and we bust our ass to build houses. Eventually, we build 20 houses, and we're well taken care of. The more houses that we build, exact same effort goes into each and every one of them. The more houses we build, by the time we get to that 20th house, It is not as valuable as that first shelter. The second shelter we build is not as valuable as that because more and more people fit. By the time we build the 21st house, as far as our village is concerned, that's useless. Nobody's going to give us money for that. So without allowing the value to be adjusted, we won't know that what it is we're doing needs to be stopped. We need to move on to something else. If all of a sudden we get to the 18th house and we're not making money anymore, we're able to see, okay, the village needs something else, and we move into blacksmithing or what have you. I'm keeping it simple here. So the price, the market price, okay, and these things are not dirty words in my opinion. The market price allows us to see if we're going in the right direction. The issue, the main issue with a communist economy is it has a governmental dictate on what something is going to be charged, all right? Problem is manufacturing processes. Anything we do, if you ain't making good money to do it, you shouldn't be doing it, right? The only reason why the Soviet Union lasted as long as they did, now here's a secret. The only reason the Soviet Union lasted as long as it did and didn't crumble sooner, East Germany as well. Let's use East Germany because that is a very, very good example. Is because they were able to take cues off of the Western free market. Now, I understand it's not a perfect market, but it's a hell of a lot closer than a communist market, okay? They were able to take cues off of the Western market value and charge accordingly. So it wasn't fully communist. If they didn't have that Western market to go off of, it wouldn't have lasted at all. You'd get this bullshit like what you have down in Cuba, which is just insane, all right? Nobody knows that we need to make steel because cars come from the sky from aliens and shit, you know? I believe the reason why capitalist gets a bad name is because of what the hybrid economy does with it, all right? So many aspects of the market are propped up through a state mandated monopoly of a process. You see back in the day, AT&T, telephone operations, power generations, still power generations, things that are in essential services. And you can see this, it's in law. Congress has passed these laws that give a single company the rights to be the sole provider of the service of electricity. And then they say, well, here's how much you charge. But those companies make a lot of money. In a laissez-faire capitalism, okay, you may have a nice, Ryan, you may have a nice power plant, and that's what you do for a living. You provide electricity, and people love electricity, dude. They love electricity. You and I are using it right now. I'm using it while I record this. You're using it while you're watching this shit. Well, in a laissez-faire capitalist economy, I'm able to say, wow, Ryan's making pretty good money making electricity. I've taken a look at how he does his thing. I can do it cheaper. I can do it cheaper. And I offer the same service to his customers for less money. Maybe they want to stick with Ryan for their own particular values. Maybe they just want to keep more money in their pocket. They want to keep more money in their pocket, they come to me. Ryan has to lean down a little bit. He's got to figure it out. Now, eventually, this market that I'm talking about, this free market, this laissez-faire market, it will find the true cost, the true value of the price of what it is that Ryan and I produce. And you know what? If it gets to where it's no longer beneficial for us to make electricity, just like in our little village where we were building houses, we get into something else. We let that section of the economy create its own demand. Ryan, you talked about your friend who's a button-up shirt and tie inside guy, and at the time you were digging ditches. And he's like, wow, you're down there working really hard, and I don't see what I'm doing being as valuable as what you're doing. You should make the same money because you put so much effort into it. Listen, buddy, think about the value of service for a moment. This is how I see it. If I have the skill and the ability and the touch to go in through a vein and to put a stent in a vein, opening up a section of a person's heart to save their life, to keep them alive, to give them more years with their family, and I have the touch, I have the skill, I know where to cut, I know where to push. Is that not more valuable than a person that digs a ditch out in the street that's 10 feet deep for no reason whatsoever? Now, if we need that 10-foot ditch to do something that we really need to get done, yes, there could be circumstances where digging that 10-foot ditch is extremely important. And in that case, you get paid more. Bridge workers, they hang iron. Big I-beams, big rivets, gigantic erector set, not terribly complex. Those guys are paid well. Those guys are paid well because they watch what they're doing and they do it right, usually, in theory. Mike Snibby in his cherry picker, more or less, 9 times out of 10, he moves a lever forward, back, no effort whatsoever. Right? It's much more valuable for a person shoveling something out of the gutter than it is. All he's doing is moving a lever. Nah, man, he's not just moving a lever. He's controlling a multi-million-dollar machine, extremely valuable. And that machine, as he's moving that lever back and forth, has human beings hung underneath the bottom of the bridge that are relying on him to do his job correctly. There's so many levers in that machine, you got to know which, from operating equipment. And that's my view on it. I'm a mechanic. And a lot of people, when they look at the newer cars, like I'm an alternative energy mechanic, and that's neither here nor there. We can talk about that if you want. You open up the hood on some of these newer hybrids or newer electrics, and people are like, "Wow, that's pretty amazing. You're like a doctor." I look them dead in the eye and I say, "No, I am not." I said, "You want to know the difference? I can shut a car off. I can shut a car off. I can walk away at the end of the night. Doctor's got to do the same thing I do, only he doesn't get to shut the car off. He can't walk away." So, now I wanted to get that out there because I have a great deal of passion towards capitalism, and if you need to use a different term for what it is I'm describing, that's my idea of a market. I believe that nobody should tell me what I should charge for something, and I'm not going to tell someone else what they should charge for something. I think that's out of line. I think that's immoral. What a person values is what a person values. I can't make a person value something differently than what they wish to. And we will leave it at that. Yeah. Capitalist. I was wondering if you do want to keep using capitalist as a swear word, if you could like cop a Russian accent and say like swine, like capitalist swine, and then take a swig of vodka, like you talk capitalism like man, let's see you drink vodka like man. Ugh. Alright, fucker. Oh. Good videos though. I thought we weren't going to get this far. I really did. When it was like you were talking about Josiah Warren, it was only I make this video and I continue forward because of the comment that I read from Dan. I was having trouble. I figured we were too far away. Because that Josiah Warren stuff, buddy, it smacks of socialism. That's something I ain't interested in. You can kiss my ass. I'll move from Massachusetts to Rhode Island, kiss my ass. You know what? No, screw this. A bunch of idiots are moving to Rhode. I'm moving to Tennessee. Don't kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need that shit. I really don't. Like, I don't. All right, man. Good stuff. I think we're doing good. I think we're blowing some people away. But so I may do a video here where we slow it down a little and get it back to level one. I think we're at like level 5. But at least I managed to theoretically get naked in this one. All right. Be good, man. We'll see you.